Good evening, Cubs. Yep, it's evening. It is 10:54 by my clock, so I'm going to say it's evening. So, here's the thing. It's only a few days out from Valentine's Day. Let me get the shares done real quick. What the heck? Dink, 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 dink. Share already. I'm just reading some of the stuff people already sharing and posting. No, Speed does not like me saying there's no game involved. That's Speed's problem. I won't let me say that I'm just reading, so what the hell. Anyway. Switch over to Storyteller. We're not reading this book tonight. We are reading this book tonight. Because reasons. Reasons being that Valentine's Day is less than 3 days away, and technically Lupercalia is only 2. But we'll be picking up on what chapter did I leave off on last time? Okay, starting on chapter 23. The L word. That word that lots of people refer to say and very few actually know what it means. I'm hoping my microphone's not going to pick up any echo because new headset. I want to see what it sounds like. I know it worked on games, but let's see how it does on reading. Shall we? Cool. So again, Information about the book is on screen. How to be a good boyfriend. 34 ways to keep her from getting annoying, jealous, and crazy by Rebecca A. Marquis. And we are on 23. So, 23, the L word. Generally speaking, there seem to be two ways people first use the love in relationships. There's the I love you, that means I love that you are funny and smart and you get along with my family, that you haven't slept with many people before me, and that you care about making me happy. This kind of love is similar to how we love a material possession. We love what it brings us. This is a selfish kind of love, and not in a bad way. We certainly should choose people to add to our lives. There is also the I love you. That means I care deeply about your feelings and I would make sacrifices for your happiness. This is a caretaking. The fuck was that? That wasn't Kel. Just want to turn off that Google thing. I turned off Google Assistant. Apparently I hadn't. Okay. Anyway, this is a caretaking, generous kind of love. It's the kind of love we might feel for our family members. And here's the key. And Cubs, I will tell you that I am drinking because, quite frankly, this book has really made me want to drink a lot more. Okay, continuing. And here's the key. For a successful relationship, women and men should feel both kinds of love for each other. If we are dating and I've come to care about you very much, but I don't think you're the greatest thing ever, I'm going to feel trapped by my love for you. I won't be happy or fulfilled, but I will find it incredibly difficult to leave. If you think I am the greatest thing ever, but don't show me love and caring, I'm either going to find it elsewhere, or stay with you and cry all the time about how poorly you treat me. Well, that hits home a little. But if we think the other is the greatest thing, but we are always looking out for each other's feelings, think of how great that relationship would be. No hurt, no crying, lots of fun times, lots of support and friendship. Ideal. An example. Brandon was so in love. Mara and Brandon met and started dating towards the end of their junior year of college. Since they hadn't been together long and were both going home for the summer, they didn't think it made as much sense to stay together. By the time the fall semester had come around, Brandon met someone else and had fallen so in love with her. Although he was really happy with his new girlfriend, Brandon was still courting Mara. He's an idiot. He would ask her to stay together, calling it a date. He would tell Mara how sexy she is, and how he wished he could sleep with her. It was clear to Mara that Brandon's definition of love didn't include caring for his girlfriend's feelings, or even showing respect for her. It was as if Brandon's I love you meant, I love that you're so great to me. I'm going to do whatever I want, but I'm sure you'll still be there because you're so great. A few months later, this new girlfriend broke his heart by dumping him, and he cried to Mara about it. Uh, this book makes me so freaking annoyed. Before you use the L word, check to see if you both feel both kinds of love. If you don't, and tell her you love her, you will be misleading her. She'll find inconsistencies between your words and your actions. She'll be upset often, and she might even get a little crazy. If you don't yet think she's the greatest woman to talk to and to walk into your life, or if you don't yet have that deep caring for her, it's better not to use the L word. You should, however, tell her all the things you love about her and why you love being with her. This is important for us to hear. We can be patient for the deeper feelings, but you should freely articulate the positive feelings you do have for us. Another example. After 6 months, Sean had nothing to say. Sean and Amanda had been dating for about 6 months, and over that time, Amanda noticed that Sean never made any mention of his feelings towards her. She didn't she didn't need to hear that he loved her, but she did need to hear that he had some positive feelings towards her in the relationship. Because of his past, Sean claimed, it was difficult for him to get excited about being with someone, and he couldn't articulate any positive sentiment towards Amanda. She tried to be sensitive to his experience, but they had been dating for 6 months already. Surely he should feel enough security to say something like, "It's great that I can truly be myself around you," or "I always had a great time with you." It was a deal breaker for Amanda, and she ended the relationship. A couple of years later, Sean got back in touch with Amanda to say how much he missed her. He was finally able to articulate some feelings, but it was too late. Amanda had moved on. Deeper feelings will either develop over time, 6 months or so, or not. Women need to learn to be patient and let this develop. We often want an answer in the first couple of months, but it's too soon for the deep feelings to develop with most men. Ladies, be patient. And ladies, before you use the L word to express how much you care, check to see if you also think he's the greatest thing. I know you might think he is in the beginning, but remember that we're on good behavior for the first couple of months. Before you can truly decide if he is a great guy, you'll need to know him pretty well. So, and how perfect he is. You should also give it about 6 months to see if you really do think he's the greatest thing. In short, step away from the O word until you truly know her and deeply care for her. This is important, guys. Once we're in our mid-20s and older, understand that we expect love to come with a future. We're not interested in love for the sake of the experience. We're looking for a love that doesn't leave. So, unless we're both very young, also stay away from the L word until you're ready to make a commitment. In the meantime, show her you love her. If you're tempted to say it because you're oh so in love, but you think you may take a job across the country in the next few months, better to just be good to her and show her love. Save the L word for when you're ready to create a future with her. And people wonder why I have such a hard time saying love. Because this kind of thing is. Yeah, anyway. 24. Hedging your bets. You're excited about the new amazing woman you're dating, and it's all going well. Yet you're still chatting it up with other women on the side. You're still going out of your way to get the numbers and flirt. Just in case it doesn't work out with your current woman, you'll have a backup plan waiting in the wings. You are hedging your bets. You are a fucking asshole and a player. That was my commentary, not the book. Eric's hidden phone. Ginny and Eric had been dating for about 2 months, and Eric was very happy to be with her. He often told his friends how great she is, how beautiful she is, and how she laughs at all of his jokes. The first time Eric took a shower at Jenny's place, she was surprised to see him hide his phone before he showered. Jenny wasn't the nosy type and would never have thought to look through his phone. It made her feel horrible to realize that, as happy as they were, he must have been at least flirting with other women. She began to wonder whether they were exclusive and had a dozen questions ready for him when he got out of the shower. Jenny got serious and got jealous and annoying, and the happy relationship ended soon after. Was he actually hiding the phone, or was he just leaving it in his damn pocket so he wouldn't forget where it was? Women, stop being so damn suspicious, unless warranted. Bill's back burner. Bill and Lila became very close friends at work, but the timing was just never right for them to date. Fast forward a few years, Bill and Lila were no longer working together and lived in the same town. Every now and then, Bill would contact Lila and talk about wanting to date her and about wanting a future with her, but nothing ever seemed to work out. The vacations, the trips to visit, and the long phone dates never happened. He never seemed to choose her, and later she found out why. For most of the time they were in touch, he had a girlfriend. Lila felt completely misled and didn't even want to keep the friendship with Bill. He was keeping her on a back burner, just in case his current relationship didn't work out. Bill, you are an asshole. Enough said. Hedging will always backfire. We will be able to sense that you're paying attention to another woman, and it will keep us from feeling secure. You'll be hiding your phone, not taking calls or checking email in front of us. We'll know something is up. And, here's the kicker, we do not enjoy the competition. We just don't. Mature, sensible women do not fight for men. Maybe if the situation was reversed, you'd be fueled to work harder for us, to win us. But it's not true for women. It's not fucking true for men either. No. So most of the time when I tried to fight for someone, it ended up firing on me because I was seeming too damn aggressive, and that was apparently a turnoff. So the whole concept of alpha male stupidity is completely wrong. Anyway, continuing. We will cry our eyes out, leave, and hate you forever. Or we will stay and not trust you and get jealous and annoying. Either way, you will ruin every good relationship this way. You will also lose every sane and drama-free woman on your list. Every last one. No woman wants to be on the back burner while you're dating someone else. We don't want to be your second choice. That doesn't make us feel special at all. If the woman you're currently dating is a great catch and you're telling your friends how happy you are, you need to respect her and respect the relationship. Oh shit, Sherlock. Care for her and make her feel special and secure. You don't have to commit to marrying her, but you do have to show her some care. After all, you've been practicing your skills with the other ladies for a while now, Romeo. If things don't work out with this relationship, it won't take long for you to find another. So live in the present, give your relationship the chance to be fun, happy companionship you're looking for, and quit hedging your bets. A note to the ladies. Again, I have to suggest that you do not go fishing for information. Do not look through his phone, do not read his emails. You will undoubtedly find something to misunderstand. You'll make things up in your head about it, and you will ruin the relationship. If you have no reason to think he's playing around, be happy, and continue to give him his privacy. What did I say? Don't snoop, because he's probably not intentionally hiding anything. It's just whatever. This book really does make me drink a lot. This time it's coffee and vodka, so if I finish this bottle, I'll probably not wake up very early in the morning tomorrow. 25. The hit and run. You're trying to figure out your plans for the weekend, and it seems you can fit everything in if you stop by her place on your way out with the guys on Friday nights. The hit and run. Lovely. That's just, stupid. No woman wants to be the victim of a hit and run. Either she's your plan for the night or she is not. She is not going to be your pre-party or your after-party. Remember that we are looking to feel special. Fitting us in on your way out or coming by our place after a night out with the boys is not our idea of special. I do have to remind you again, I'm reading this, but it's written from a woman's perspective. So, yeah. We understand you had a tough week. It's your buddy's birthday and you have to go out tonight. And you really need to let off some steam so you can enjoy your weekend. We totally understand, and honestly, we'd prefer that you're not horny when you go out with the guys. Wow. But we're not going to make this acceptable. You'll get all the quickies and sleepovers you want when you marry the girl. Until then, give her all the love she deserves when you can offer her your full attention. A notice to the ladies. Women, work with me here. Stand up for what you deserve and do not let him talk you into coming over. Not before his night out, not at 3 a.m. as he leaves the club. If you make this acceptable, it will become the norm. You don't want to have real dates. You won't feel special. You'll become the annoying girlfriend. 26. RESPECT. Or it just says respect. I just wanted to spell it out. It doesn't matter if you're the best athlete in the world, earn 100 million a year, or have been voted the world's sexiest man. Being powerful does not mean the rules are different for you. It does not entitle you to lie, cheat, or otherwise disrespect your woman. We are all human beings. Unless you're a wolf, then you're just better. Well, that sounds bad. Wolves aren't any better than normal people. We're just considerably more loyal. Perhaps you want to be the breadwinner and have a woman who doesn't work outside the home. That's perfectly fine. But you do not get to treat her like she is any less than you. Not while you are dating, not after you marry. She is not your servant, your personal chef, or your housekeeper. She is your partner. Can't agree more. If you choose to divide the work in a way that puts you in the office and her in the home, that's fine. But she is still your partner, and you have to respect her. You have to respect the work she does and the role in her relationship. Or perhaps you want a woman who matches your intellect, your athleticism, and your success in business. That's also perfectly fine. But if she falls short of your high expectations, you still have no rights to treat her without respect. You can choose not to be with her, and you still have to be respectful to her. And in general, regardless of any predefined relationship rules, you have to be considerate of her feelings. If you can't, you shouldn't be in a relationship. An example, Brett's Olympic trip, part 2. I remember reading the first part, but I don't remember what it said. Remember Brett who thought Linda would take him back after he went to Athens for the Olympics with another woman. Oh, yeah, that one. When he admitted this to Linda, she couldn't help but feel like he thought of her as the lesser being. Brett knew he wanted to ultimately be with Linda, yet thought it acceptable to make her cry for days and wait months for him while he had a once-in-a-lifetime experience of going to the Olympics, and while he spent quality time with another woman's family. Linda certainly didn't feel cared for, and with good reason. Brett only cared about what he could gain from it all. This book, man. Please tell me that women don't really think this about men, and guys, please tell me that you're not giving women to think of this as regular men. If you are, you're a fucking asshole and stop following me. Jason's dirty uniform. Jason and Kara were in their early 20s and had been dating for a few years. They often talked about marriage, but it would be after she finished law school and after he advanced some in his career. For now, he was still living at home, and she had an apartment near school. On the weekends, Jason played football in her neighborhood. After his game, he'd shower at her place, and they'd spend the day together. One day, on one of these, on one of these days, his uniform was particularly dirty. After his shower, there was a certain bit of dirt left in the bathroom. When Kara saw this, she said, "Jason, I think you left something in the bathroom." He looked in and said, "What did I leave? I don't see anything." "How about all that dirt?" Jason rolled his eyes and made some careless attempts to clean it. When Kara later noticed the dirt still left in the bathroom and said something to Jason, he said, "It's your job to clean it." Oh, yeah, he's an asshole. Well, Kara let him have it. "Listen, I don't know what your mother does for you at home, but I am not your maid. This is my apartment, and you need to clean up after yourself here." Even if Jason innocently misunderstood the rules at first, and that's a big if, when she first mentioned the problem, he should have respected her wishes and handled it completely. This would have shown that Jason cared about Kara's happiness. Remember, you chose to be with her. If you can't respect her, you won't be making her feel special, cared for, or secure. If you can't respect her, you should get out of the relationship. God, this book is gonna kill me. I'm gonna finish this book before Valentine's Day, though. Happy Lupercalia. 27. Toughening up, Miss Sensitive. You're dating this great woman, and you often have great time together. But she's sensitive. Too sensitive. She gets upset if you tease her. She gets upset if she thinks you're not paying attention to if you're paying attention to another woman. And she gets upset if you don't call her when you say you will. She needs to toughen up. So you continue to tease her, pay attention to other women, and not call when you say you will. But strangely, she isn't getting any better with it. In fact, the situation is getting worse. Let me explain. You're an asshole. That's not what it says. The only way we become less sensitive is becoming more secure. If you want to tease her, you first have to make sure she 100% is that you love her and exactly as she is. Let me try that again. If you want to tease her, you have to make her 100% sure that you love her exactly as she is. If you want to be able to chat with another woman at a bar without it being a problem, you have to make sure You have to make sure your woman knows you only want to be with her. Make sure she knows how much you enjoy her company and that you'd never want to do anything to mess up that relationship with her. If you want the freedom to be able to miss a phone call every now and then, you have to make sure she knows you're still thinking about her and will call soon after. Jim's Perfect Ring, Part 2. The first time Annie was at Jim's apartment, the day he told her about the perfect ring he designed for his ex-fiancée, she noticed a stack of mail on the coffee table with another woman's name on it. The mail was to Jim's ex, who hadn't lived there for over 6 months, and he was collecting it for her. He'd mail her a package every couple of weeks, or call if something looked important. When Annie told Jim she didn't feel good about this, he dismissed her feelings and chose not to do anything differently. Why the hell did you not file a change of address form? I blame the woman for that one. When it came up again, because nothing had changed, of course it would come up again. He said that she needed to toughen up. He no longer had feelings for the ex, and that should be enough for Annie to let it go. If everything else in the relationship had been going well, this one thing might not have been such a big deal to Annie. But given that he was still talking about the perfect ring he made for the same ex, Annie was wondering if this woman wasn't just in his past. She was feeling very insecure about his past relationship, and Jim's attempts to toughen Annie up had backfired. Okay, 6 months you're supposed to register any address change anyway. That's kind of the law, I believe. So, again, it's his ex's issue. 28. Testing. One thing that continues to boggle my logical mind is why men would test us. Why they would create for us a difficult situation just to see how we would handle it. Like women don't do this? Maybe you want to be sure not to date a woman who gets needy, for example. So you purposely test her to see if she gets needy. You think that's great. You always have a good time together, and you would never normally wait 3 days to call her. But after the first time you sleep with her, you test her by waiting 3 days before calling. I was sworn there was something earlier in this book that mentioned something about that. Never mind. Essentially, you are saying, if I decide to pull back from her, let's see how she'll react. But all she sees is that you're pulling back. You don't have any intention of being the guy who waits 3 days to call because you want to talk to her all the time. But she doesn't know that anymore. She doesn't know it's just a test, and now you're Mr. Inconsistent. So she doesn't feel secure, and she'll get annoying, jealous, and maybe even crazy. But everything was fine before. You created this. Honestly, everything in this book goes both ways. Or maybe you can't deal with a jealous girlfriend, so you test your new woman by purposefully flirting with other women in her presence, or by getting together with an ex just for lunch. You have no desire to see your ex for lunch, or to mess things up with your new woman, but you want to make sure she won't get jealous. All she sees, however, is that you've changed. You're inconsistent, and now she's insecure, which means you'll both be unhappy. When you test us, you're designing your behavior to be inconsistent with what we know about you. You're introducing something unnatural to the relationship, and you're judging us based on our reaction to it. It just doesn't make sense. To see if we'll become needy or jealous, or to see if we'll develop any other undesirable trait, you'll have to wait until the situation arises naturally. Just be your normal self and see how we react. Same advice to the ladies, of course. By testing us, you're setting us up to fail. When you test us, you're creating unnatural obstacles in the relationship. This is in bold type. You can't create obstacles for your relationship and expect the relationship to go well. You just can't. 29. Your crazy ex-girlfriends. 29. Your crazy ex-girlfriends. They seemed normal when you started dating them. They seemed emotionally stable. They seemed totally cool. Then they lost it. They cheated and blamed you. They contacted the ex-girlfriend you were in love with and keyed your new car. What happened? Finally, you thought you found a normal one. She has good, normal friends. She comes from a functioning family. But one day, she just flipped out. If you have at least one crazy ex-girlfriend, you might want to take a look at the messages you are sending. Inconsistent messages will make her crazy, like flipping a switch. Or they were crazy and... We understand you're not perfect. We understand sometimes it takes time to figure out what you want or what works for you, and that sometimes it's not just us. That's fine. But when there are inconsistencies between what you say and what you do, when you change your mind seemingly overnight, and when you move on incredibly quickly, how are we supposed to deal? We are looking for security, and you have been doing your best to give that to us. Then, in a matter of minutes, it is all gone. Can you blame us for not knowing how to deal with a sudden loss, or with a roller coaster ride, or with the mixed feelings floating around in your heads? Sure, ideally we'd all be able to handle every single thing life throws at us. But until a woman has been through it at least once, she won't know how to cope. If she's been on the roller coaster before, she'll recognize it and change her expectations. If she's been loved and left in an instant, she'll know what to do and move forward. But the first time around, or even the first time with you, inconsistencies can really just make her crazy. Because if she truly loves you and your feelings seem to have taken a 180 turn, it is probably the hardest thing she's ever had to deal with in her life, and she just doesn't know how. Again, this goes both ways, ladies. Why did she act crazy? Examples. Maybe because they were talking about living together, even picked out an apartment. Then he suddenly decided to take a job 300 miles away. Something about a fresh start. Maybe because he told her how much he cared about her, and that he had to date someone his mother would approve of. And when he started dating this new woman, he was still calling the ex, hoping to have phone sex with her. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe it was the Hello E-card he sent her on Valentine's Day, just a month after breaking up with her. An E-card on Valentine's Day, just to say hello. Seriously? That's actually written in the book. Maybe it was how, over the course of an hour, they were planning their future together and then breaking up. Some kind of epiphany he had after hearing something on TV. Could it have been that? Maybe. But if that didn't do it, seeing that he went back to online dating the very next morning probably made her crazy. That Yeah, that was probably it. We know you're not perfect, but if this is the best you can do, you should be prepared for our reactions. These may include calling you every hour on the phone until you fucking pick up the phone, leaving you an incredibly emotional message each time you don't pick up, including, but not limited to, bouts of hysterical crying. Between phone calls, texting you to ask why you aren't taking our calls. Yes, we are delusional at this point. Any sane person would know you're not ever going to take another call of our calls, but you flipped the crazy switch on us, so asking why you won't talk to us is a perfectly logical question. Driving to your house to talk to you because you won't pick up the fucking phone. Obsessive much? Or perhaps calling your best friend, your mom, and your sister to help understand what happened. Joke's on us when they say, yeah, that sounds like him. Coming to see you at work, knowing you wouldn't create a scene there, but then crying, creating the scene ourselves. How to avoid the crazy. First things first, if you know you have some intimacy or commitment issues, deal with them before you get close to us. Talk to your mom, your priest, your therapist, whoever. Just talk it out before it affects us. Or at least be fully aware of the limitations you have and make them clear to us. Don't talk about our future, our kids, or our life together until you are ready to put a ring on our finger. Seriously. That sort of talk messes us up in the head. When you say those words, we believe them. We believe you want a future, kids, and a life with us. We envision it and we start to feel secure. Then later on, when you realize you don't want all of that with us, we're devastated. Avoid the sudden extremes. We should talk about moving in together. Then a week later, I don't think I ever want to get married or live with anyone. Perhaps you can understand how this would make a woman crazy. Be honest with yourself and us about what you want. If you are sure we are dating to find the one, and you know we are not the one for you, or that you are not ready to find her, don't lead us on. You already know how to keep things from getting crazy in other relationships. In dealing with people at work, for example, you'd be consistent with how you treat them. You wouldn't change things day to day because of how you felt in the moment, unless you work at Walmart. You'd think things through and make smooth transitions, unless you work at Walmart. This would keep our relationships their best and earn you respect. The same care should be offered to the women you date. A note to the ladies. You must learn to recognize the inconsistencies so you can get out before you act crazy. As soon as you notice him being inconsistent, talk to him about it. If he is receptive to your comments and pays more attention to the issue, that's great. If he gets defensive, however, get yourself out of that relationship and save yourself the drama. Let me finish this book tonight at this rate. It'll have been 43 minutes. 30. Breakups. Breakups are never easy, but there are ways to minimize the hurt and drama. If you want to break up with us, the best way is to say that you have thought about it a lot and are sure that this is not what you want. Do not confuse us by saying how much you love us and how difficult it is to break up. Our response will be, are you sure this is what you want? Maybe you're just scared. We can work this out. That sounds familiar. Then you'll agree to work it out, and you'll break up with us again the next week. In the meantime, we've gotten our hopes back, and we'll fall twice as hard when you do finally leave. In the meantime, we've gotten our host back and we'll... Do not end the relationship with goodbye sex. Do not end the relationship with... We won't see it as goodbye sex. We'll see it as getting him back sex. I mean, how could you possibly want to break up with us after we just had the most incredible time in bed? We're connected. It's much more than physical. We are one. Yes, breakup sex will do that to us. If we were at all attached to you, the idea of having you, we will not be able to let go after breakup sex. This book, man, really. Do give us reasons if we ask. If you realize we don't want the same things, explain that to us. If, after getting to know us, you realize we're not the one you're looking for, explain that to us if we ask. The more logical the argument, the easier it will be for us to accept. Do your own part. If you let us on, admit it. Otherwise, we will still believe everything you said to us about wanting to be with us. We will be completely confused, and we will want answers. If there is someone else, be very careful about telling us this. It could be the best or worst thing you say. No self-respecting woman would want to be with a guy who chooses someone else over her. If you break up with us, cite someone else as your reason, this could make for the quickest, easiest breakup you ever had. However, if she has recently exhibited any crazy behavior, the less information you give her, the better. If she's not thinking clearly and you tell her that you're interested in someone else, she'll likely become your super sleuth ex and try to identify this woman. She'll read all the posts on your Facebook page, yes, all of them, repeatedly clicking on the older posts until she finds that you joined Facebook. She'll click on all the pages of all the cute girls who are in your friends list. And if she can't see their pages, she'll have her friends who can see their pages log in. She'll figure it out. Then she'll call you at random times in tears, wanting to know why you chose the new woman over her. As if the fact she calls you in tears doesn't make that obvious. But that's not only that she's acting a little crazy. If not, she'll probably tear up your pictures, and that's about it. And after you break up with us, especially if you're interested in someone else, please do not try to be friends with us. If you propose we stay in touch as friends, we'll agree. It's because we want to leave the door open to getting you back. But you don't want us, so don't do that to us. Go away peacefully. Wish us well and let us move on. Honestly, I'm still friends with all my exes. I don't know what they're talking about. A note to the ladies. After he has broken up with you, be honest with yourself about why you want to stay in touch. If you are just trying to leave the door open to getting back together, you're just setting yourself up for a harder fall. He broke up with you. Let him go. 31. Holiday and birthday presents. This is kind of going towards one of the tells I answered earlier. Let me start this chapter by saying that I wholeheartedly believe it is the thought that counts. So when you give us a cookbook as a holiday present, exactly what thought are you trying to convey? You like cooking? I actually like getting cookbooks because I collect them. And I like trying new recipes because I like cooking. So if you got me a cookbook, it'd be pretty cool. If you got me Vincent Price cookbooks, which don't do because I already have all of them, that would be awesome. But that's also me. I have probably 100 book cookbook collection right now because I am just that weird. and I like cooking. And said three of them are written by Vincent Price. Because I like Vincent Price. So there. Unless we specifically ask for it, presents should not be anything domestic.
Ha, honey, I got you that vacuum you were looking at.
Wait, no. If she was looking at it, that means it was something she wanted. Oh. We know some guys love to get get expensive tools, but how much would you like it if you got one you didn't ask for? Then it's the gift that you know will come with a chore list. It's the same for us with kitchen appliances, housewares, cookbooks, etc. It depends on the person. If someone were to get me like a 20-volt rotary hammer, I'd be confused but think it's pretty cool. And if you don't know what a 20-volt rotary hammer is, I could put it on my throne list, but I'm not gonna, because no one gets me anything off my throne list anyway. Anyway, example. Matt's cookbook present. Sophia dated Matt when they were young, teens into their 20s. As they got older, Matt recognized that his brother's wife was prepared nice parties, including lots of stylish appetizers. So as one of her Christmas presents, he bought Sophia a fancy cookbook. While the present itself was appreciated, Sophia understood that he wanted her to cook for him more often. And quite frankly, she thought he should learn to cook with the stylish appetizers himself. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's being that he got his girlfriend a cookbook because his brother's wife was such a badass cook. Okay. I had to read that twice just to figure it out myself. It was confusing. Anyway, it wasn't as if Matt and Sophia often cooked romantic dinners together, and it would be something to bring them closer. Essentially, Matt was giving Sophia a self-help book as a holiday gift. Holiday and birthday gifts should not be lingerie, unless maybe for Valentine's Day or Horny Werewolf Day. More on that below. Don't get me wrong, we do think sex is an important part of a healthy relationship. As the relationship grows, the sexual part of the relationship will grow as well. Most women would be happy to sport some sexy new underthings, but since this is just as much a present for you as it is for her, these should not take place during the holidays or birthday presents. When you're giving her something for the holidays or her birthday, it should be something you know she wants or you know she would appreciate. Apparently not lingerie. If she has been searching all over town for her favorite perfume and you found it when you went to visit your brother in Boston, that's a great present. It shows you pay attention to what makes her happy. It shows that you care. If you know that she's been stressed out from work lately and she can't spend the money on a nice massage, a spa gift card would be a great present. Or even a more economical and intimate version, you could read up on how to give a good massage, buy some massage oil and serene music, and make a romantic night of it. Make sure you do, however, give her the full massage. This is a gift to her. Ooh, kinky. Gary's birthday gift for Lynn. While walking through the bookstore one day, Lynn mentioned to Gary that she'd love to get this very expensive language software to refresh her French. Although Gary was still in grad school and couldn't afford to buy the expensive software, he asked everyone he knew if they had a copy. Sure enough, just in time for her birthday, he was able to borrow the software and install it on her computer. He bought a couple of things for her, too, but this present meant just as much to Lynn as anything they paid for. This took time and effort and showed that he was listening. It showed that he cared about her happiness. Yes, let's be pirating software from a friend to give to your girlfriend because she wants to learn French. Okay. Valentine's Day presents. We get to it eventually. If you already have a pretty active sex life, sure, lingerie is a great part of Valentine's Day present. You might want to supplement it with some chocolates, wine, or something else you know she would enjoy. If you just started having sex, I'd stay away from the lingerie and let that develop in its own time. Go for perfume or fancy chocolates instead. Flowers are also great on Valentine's Day, but not if they're the same flowers you've been giving to your mom. What's wrong with flowers? Admittedly, it would be better if you gave her favorite flowers instead of what your mom likes, but if you like the same ones, I guess that's a different subject entirely. Like, I can't this. Eddie's Big Balloons. Well, that just starts off sounding weird. Eddie and Kristen went to college together and had been dating for a couple of years. They both lived on campus, but were headed back to visit Eddie's family for the weekend to celebrate his dad's 50th birthday. It happened to be Valentine's Day weekend, so when Eddie arrived to pick Kristen up, he brought her a gift. It was the newest, trendiest Valentine's Day gift. Flowers inside of a balloon. It was all the craze at the mall, and Kristen loved it. The balloon was clear with white flowers printed on it, and inside were red roses. But when Kristen got into Eddie's car for their trip, she was confused. There was another balloon with flowers in the back seat. I bought that one for my mom, Eddie said, and his mom's balloon said, I love you printed on it. But her flowers were carnations, yours are roses. I gave you the roses. Now, one could argue that roses are better than carnations, or that I love you balloon is better than one without. And one can always argue that mom trumps girlfriend. But the point of the story is that there would be no arguing that Eddie not giving the same present to his girlfriend and mom. It was a nice present, but it didn't make Kristen feel special. That is kind of stupid, honestly. And the different flowers, I mean, I just mentioned that different flowers, but getting them at the same time and having them actually overlap, that's just bad karma, dude. Unfortunately, this wasn't Eddie's only Valentine's Day fumble. Oh, crap. Eddie's lingerie model. A couple of years later, Eddie was living back home after college. It was just before Valentine's Day. Eddie's mom was taking his sister and her friend to the outlet mall. Eddie joined them so he could buy a Valentine's Day gift for Kristen. After splitting with the mom, supposedly, and the rest of the group headed to the lingerie store. As if it wasn't bad enough that Eddie's mom would know that he was buying Kristen lingerie, Eddie didn't know Kristen's bra size. So he said to his sister's friend, Kristen is about your size. What size do you wear? Not only did Eddie buy lingerie in the other girl's size, he asked her to try it on. It was completely sheer. Kristen was upset for weeks about this, and of course, She made her own trip to the outlet mall to exchange the lingerie for the biggest, boxiest pajamas she could find. Oh, God, Eddie, you're such a fucking moron. Oh, God, Eddie, you're such a fucking moron. You got your sister's friend to try on lingerie because she was the same size as your girlfriend. So many things wrong with that. Would make an interesting trip to VA. Gifts for other women. It's worth mentioning here that gifts for female friends other than your girlfriend should never be jewelry or anything romantic. Alex chose earrings. Alex was enjoying his first real job after finishing graduate business degree. He was working for a large company and became friendly with one of his more senior colleagues. She was 35 and single and had an 8-year-old son. Alex was 26 and dating Lena, who was 24. When the holidays came around, Alex wanted to buy something for this woman at work. Instead of something office-related or sports-related or related to any interest she might have, Alex chose to get her a pair of gold earrings. Well, Lena was less than pleased with his choice and was sure he had some sort of crush on the woman. Alex's choice made Lena feel anything but special, and this woman at work became an issue with the relationship. The men in this book are complete and total fucking morons. I apologize for them myself. Ow. The crap. I apologize for them myself. Okay. The crap. Remember that you want your girlfriend to feel cared for, so get her something you know will make her happy. And remember that you want her to always feel special, so don't get the same thing for someone else, or something romantic for another woman. So don't get the same thing for someone else, or something romantic for another woman. There are only 2 more chapters left in this book. Well, 3 more in afterwards. I'm going to finish this damn book tonight. 32. Know your history. 32. Know your history. Please note, I am not a physician, and it is not the intention of this book to provide specific medical advice. Please consult with a qualified physician for diagnosis and for other answers of your personal questions. Please consult with a qualified physician for diagnosis and for other answers of your personal questions. This is a sensitive topic for many single women. We're excited to be in a great new relationship with a great new guy. We're monogamous, and before ditching the condoms, we both get tested for STDs. We're all clear, and everything's great. Then, months later, we get our regular Pap test. We've tested positive for HPV, and we're furious. You didn't know you carried it, but should you have known? You didn't know you carried it, but should you have known? Okay, how many guys know about having HPV? Well, for most people, there aren't any signs or symptoms. But you should have had STD talk with one of your exes, even if you always used a condom. If any of your exes has ever had a bout of HPV, there's a chance that you carry it. So yes, you should have known. Or at least you should have known that it was possible. I don't know it's possible. But I'm also not a doctor. And I won't go into my sexual history. This is not the time or place. Some strains of HPV can cause cervical cancer. Cancer. HPV can also contribute to difficulties carrying a pregnancy to term, and it needs to be our choice to take that risk with our bodies. You owe us that information, so before we have sex, you have to let us know your history. You owe us that information, so before we have sex, you have to let us know your history. Even if we never have anything more than the abnormal pap test, you can bet that we will still be upset to find out that you haven't had this discussion with your exes, or that you didn't mention anything to us. We won't feel cared for, and since this is a serious issue, it will likely have a significant impact on our relationship. If you are going to sleep with a woman, it is your responsibility to know your history. No excuses. No excuses. That is kind of a good point, but how many people actually know that kind of history on themselves? How many people Ouch. Know that kind of history on themselves? I know. Neither of the females I've been with have mentioned anything about it, so. Anyway, continuing. 33. Gratitude. This is probably the most important chapter in this book. If you are not the person who is grateful every day for what you have, I honestly don't think you'll ever be in a lasting happy relationship. And the reason is this. You can always find a reason to break up with someone. People aren't perfect, and no two are a perfect match. To have a happy, successful, lasting relationship, you have to focus on what's good. What's good? Staying in a relationship is a choice we make every day. If you don't wake up every day grateful for having this person in your life, you won't be treating her well. And either she'll leave or she'll be miserable. Of course, the same holds true for women. She can expect you to stay or be happy if she's not grateful for you every day as well. She can expect you to stay or be happy if she's not grateful for you every day as well. Example, Jesse graduated to gratitude. What? Okay. Jesse and Liz started dating while away at different colleges. Although Jesse told Liz he wouldn't date anyone else, he did, in fact, date other women on campus. On one of her visits to Jesse's campus, Liz found out about the other woman. And for the rest of their college careers, there was a cycle of breaking up and getting back together and Jesse cheating again. After college, they decided to give it another try, and something clicked for Jesse. He started to feel grateful for having Liz in his life. He thought about what he learned about for his future, and he felt lucky to have her. Jesse began to treat Liz better than he ever had before. Since then, they have been very happy. Kelly learned to appreciate her artist. Kelly and Nick dated for about 8 years before they moved to Los Angeles. Kelly was a teacher and Nick was an artist. As she thought about her future, Kelly wondered if Nick would ever be a stable income and wondered if Nick truly was the guy for her. There's that stable income thing. She had grown comfortable with him, but no longer felt passionate about her struggling artist boyfriend. She decided to see what else was out there in LA and ended the relationship. She was excited that she might find passion again and that she might find a man with more secure career. Kelly went on several dates over the course of a few months and was terribly disappointed. She recognized many things about Nick that were important to her. Most of all, she missed his companionship every day. When she told him how she felt, he was happy to have her back. Now she wakes up grateful every day for having him in her life. She focuses on what he brings to the relationship rather than what he might lack. They have been in a very happy relationship since. The pitiless sitar player. Sorry. The pitiless sitar player. Sorry. The pitiless sitar player. Well, that one can repeat and echo. I truly believe gratitude is the key to being happy in general. If you aren't grateful every day for what you have, you can't know true happiness. Life is hard, and not everything that comes our way brings us joy. If we chose to focus on the hardships and sadness, we're in for one long and miserable life. Well, yeah. Every day we must choose to find happiness. See it when it's in front of you. Look for it within what you have. And every day that we choose to stay in a relationship, we have to recognize the good it brings to our lives. We have to be grateful for what we have. We have to be grateful for what we have, provided we have something to be grateful for. 34. Fake it till you make it. I hate rhyming inspirational messages. Throughout this book, I've been saying that women want to feel be blah, 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 blah. Try this again. Throughout this book, I've been saying that women want to feel be blah, 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 blah. Try this again. Throughout this book, I've been saying that women want to feel special, cared for, and secure, even from the very beginning of the relationship. But you're not going to know on day one if we're something worth caring for, if it will truly be special to you, or if you want to pursue a lasting relationship with us. The best way to figure this out is to treat her like she's special, treat her like you care, and be consistent so she'll feel secure. I'm not saying you should mislead her. I'm saying that until you have an opinion, act as if she's special, act as if you care. Because the worst thing you can do in the beginning of a relationship is treat her poorly. Nothing good can ever come from a poor start. Eventually, you will know if she's worth worth your time and your efforts. You'll know if she is special to you and if you truly care. If she's not the one for you, there's never any shame in being a great guy. Situations where you should fake it till you make it. Asking, "How was your day?" You might not care about every detail she mentions, but you'll get to know a lot about her with this one question. Hanging out with her friends. Eventually, you'll either find common interests and you'll like hanging out with them, or you won't. But to figure that out, you'll have to be open to having a good time with them. If you want to be my lover, gotta be with my friends. Friendship never ends. Trusting her. Until you have reason not to, you should have to trust her. So your last two girlfriends cheated on you and you're having a hard time with trust. Fake it. Eventually you will have enough reason to trust her, or not. But in the beginning, you certainly don't want to ruin things because of your past. Check that baggage and enjoy the flight until you have reason to feel otherwise. Gratitude. You want to have a good relationship and you want to focus on the positive. But you're not sure how to get into that habit. It's simple. Say to yourself, I am grateful for having her in my life. I am grateful for my good health. I am grateful for that decent job. Say it. Even if you're not feeling grateful, just say it. Keep saying it. Eventually you'll feel it. Well, personally, I'm not grateful because I don't have anyone in my life. I'm not grateful because my health ain't all that great. I'm sure the hell not grateful that I have a decent job because I don't. Okay, continuing. You should fake it till you make it in the situations where you don't yet have an opinion.
You should fake it till you make it in
Situations you're willing to explore. Situations where you should not fake it in bed. There shall be no faking anything in bed. Both partners must feel able and honest with all things. Gentle guidance is appropriate. Faking it is not. Gentle guidance is appropriate. Faking it is not. So this is a woman flat out saying don't fake things in bed. So this is a woman flat out saying don't fake things in bed. Any situation involving lying. Lying is never appropriate. Any situation involving lying. Lying is never appropriate. That is the end of the last chapter. Now here are the last page. That is final words. So go ahead and get started. Ask her how her day was. Call when you say you'll call. Pick up her favorite bottle of wine. Create new memories with her. Tell her what you like about her. If you make a mistake, make proper amends. Be open and honest with her. Focus on one woman at a time. Make proper dates scheduled in advance. Recognize and respect what she brings to the relationship. Be consistent. Be grateful. And enjoy the time you spend together. I hope that you've found some useful insight here. And if nothing else, I hope the topics here have initiated dialogue in your relationship so that you can determine what works best for you. Thank you for reading, Rebecca. Okay, well, that is the end of the book. Guess I'll have to find something else to read or story time. Well, for lessons anyway. But, yeah. I really don't like the way that the men responded in that book, but if it weren't for men like that, there would be no reason to write this book. So, that's an hour and 17 minutes. Looks like I'm going to go ahead and call lesson time over for the night. I don't see anyone online that I really need to raid. So, yeah. Provided I'm still awake, I may come back on later and read may come back on later and read you a bedtime story. But until then, Cubs, I am going to say good night. And I hope you can feel special, cared for, and secure. Special, cared for, and secure. Special, cared for, and secure. Men and women need to feel special, cared for, and secure. Good night, Cubs. I may tuck you in later, but I'll have to wait until then. Good night.